The Battle of Ayn Jalut is one of the most decisive encounters in both Islamic and world history. It marked the moment when the Muslim Mamluks confronted and halted the Mongol forces that had rampaged across the Islamic world in the 13th century. The battle took place on September 3, 1260 CE, near the town of Bisan in Palestine. This battle was a turning point in the Mongol-Islamic conflict, where Muslims halted the Mongol advance westward, marking the beginning of the end for the previously unstoppable Mongol Empire. The 13th century witnessed the unprecedented expansion of the Mongol Empire under the leadership of Genghis Khan, with his sons and grandsons continuing this expansion long after his death. Starting from the Mongolian steppes, the Mongols swept across Asia and parts of Europe, establishing the largest contiguous empire the world had ever seen. Following the death of Genghis Khan, his successors continued their conquests, advancing to the borders of the Islamic world. The Mongols captured and destroyed numerous major Islamic cities, bringing terror to Muslims who suffered brutal devastation. At this time, the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad was considerably weakened, struggling with internal corruption and conflicts among local rulers. This left the Islamic world vulnerable to the Mongol onslaught, culminating in the catastrophic sack of Baghdad by the Mongol general Hulagu Khan in 1258 CE. The Mongols slaughtered the city's population, including the Abbasid Caliph al-Mu'tasim, sending shockwaves throughout the Islamic world. After capturing Baghdad, the Mongols pressed westward toward the Levant and Egypt, seeking full domination over the Muslim world. The political landscape of the Muslim world was fractured and weak. Numerous emirates and smaller states divided the region, each with its own agenda. However, Egypt's emerging Mamluk Sultanate became a powerful force against the Mongols under the leadership of Sultan Qutuz, who rejected the notion of surrender. Shortly after assuming power, Qutuz galvanized the army and mobilized his people, rallying Muslims to confront the existential threat posed by the Mongols. He declared a jihad, holy struggle, and called upon Muslims to defend their religion and homelands. The Mamluks played a central role in the preparations for the battle. They amassed an army consisting of both professional soldiers and volunteers from various Islamic cities, equipping them with weapons and devising strategic battle plans. Qutuz recognized that the Mongols relied heavily on swift, overwhelming attacks. He crafted a battle plan based on a combination of surprise tactics and hit-and-run maneuvers, aiming to confuse and exhaust the Mongol forces. When Hulagu sent a letter to Qutuz demanding submission, Qutuz responded by executing the Mongol envoys, a decisive message of defiance and resistance. This bold move signaled that Muslims would not surrender without a fight. Following this incident, the Mongols prepared to advance through the Levant, while the Mamluk army assembled in readiness for battle, staging an initial encounter at Marj al-Safar as a precursor to the main engagement at Ayn Jalut. Qutuz's strategy hinged on the element of surprise and on avoiding a direct confrontation until the Mongols were sufficiently weakened. He chose Ayn Jalut as the battleground because its terrain was conducive to guerrilla-style attacks. The narrow, uneven terrain limited the Mongols' ability to deploy their cavalry as effectively as they usually did. Qutuz instructed his skilled general, Baibars, to lead a division of the Mamluk army, launching preliminary attacks on the Mongol vanguard before retreating to draw the Mongols into the ambush at Ayn Jalut. Familiar with the Mongols' style of overwhelming assaults, Qutuz's strategy exploited their reliance on brute force by engaging in a new tactic that would wear them down. On the morning of the battle, the Mongols launched their attack, only to encounter the Mamluk forces utilizing an unfamiliar fighting style. Baibars and his troops initially struck the Mongol vanguard and then swiftly retreated, as planned. This lured the Mongols into Ayn Jalut, where Qutuz and the bulk of the Mamluk army awaited them.
As the Mongols became tightly contained in the valley, the Mamluks fought fiercely, breaking through the Mongol ranks, who fought back with ferocity. However, the Mamluks' mastery of the terrain and disciplined tactics helped them gain an advantage over the Mongols.
During the battle, the Mongol general Kitbeka, who commanded the Mongol forces, was killed, throwing the Mongols into disarray. His death demoralized the Mongols and led to disorder among their ranks. Consequently, the Mongol army began to fall back, and many soldiers fled the battlefield. Thus, the Mamluks secured a decisive victory at Ayn Jalut, effectively halting the westward expansion of the Mongol Empire. The victory at Ayn Jalut marked a significant turning point in Islamic history. It was the first major defeat for the Mongols, reshaping the power balance in the region. Muslims successfully protected both Egypt and the Levant, and the Mamluk Sultanate rose as a formidable Islamic power. This battle also elevated Sultan Qutuz's status as a courageous and righteous leader, earning him great admiration among Muslims. The outcome of Ayn Jalut revived hope across the Muslim world, demonstrating that steadfast faith and careful planning could overcome even the most formidable foes. This triumph encouraged unity among Muslims and restored confidence in their leaders. The Battle of Ayn Jalut remains one of the greatest victories in Islamic history. Despite all odds, the Muslims succeeded in halting the Mongol advance, preserving their lands and faith. For generations, Ayn Jalut stood as a testament to the resilience of the Islamic world.
Enjoyed the content? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us grow.